Prasenjit Bose, is there merit in the government saying Soros is waging war against India, trying to destabilize a democratically elected government?
Well, I think that this is a completely exaggerated kind of assessment. And the relevance of George Soros to what is happening in India is very limited. I think it is basically trying to erect a straw man. And I see this intervention and the entire controversy surrounding what a over 90-year-old person is saying, sitting miles away from our country, as a needless interference, but also as a digression from the very, very serious situation that has emerged after the revelations vis-a-vis the Adani business group. Okay. And today also the Supreme Court has made very serious observations. The government tried to influence the Supreme Court probe, which the Supreme Court today has refused to toe the line of the government in setting up the expert committee. It has suggested that it is going to set up an independent committee. Yes. I think those are more relevant debates.
No, but my question is, isn't that proof that India is a functional democracy? The government cannot get away with whatever it wants. There is a Supreme Court. And the fact that you and I are talking about it on live television, there is free press. But Abhijit Iyer Mitra, is the government overreacting, or are the red flags going up just in time?
Look, I do think, Gaurav, that the red flags are going up just in time. Okay, because remember, there is a lot of circumstantial evidence in this case. Mr. Soros has a record of interfering in election processes across the globe. Right. He was absolutely key. He was one of the biggest fundraisers of both Hillary and Biden. That isn't election interference because he is an American citizen. But you look at what happened in Georgia, the Rose Revolution, he always underplays his involvement. Right. So initially he was saying he did not support the Maidan thing in Ukraine in 2014. Yes. And then finally admitted in an interview that he did. In the Rose Revolution that happened in Georgia, he said, he still says, I had nothing to do with it, except the Georgian Prime Minister and several Georgian ministers have openly come out and thanked him and said, we couldn't have done this without you. Okay. The third thing you have to look at, what are his associations? What does he fund? Right. And basically, if you look down at every one of the fundings of the Open Society Foundation, it not just links into the Congress, but it also links into a lot of organizations out here that are just plain vitriolically anti-government. So the issue here is you have on one side a lot of close contacts, and on the other a proven track record of destabilizing governments.
Respond Asad Abbas. George Soros, as Abhijit Iyer Mitra also points out, is spending big money to engineer a regime change even in India. And look at the bias at the World Economic Forum at Davos. He claimed democratically elected Modi government is a setback to society. He claims punitive measures are imposed on Kashmir, a semi-autonomous Muslim region. And he claims Muslims are being deprived of citizenship. Asad Abbas, you tell me, are Muslims being deprived of citizenship? Any of what he claims, is it true?
Well, firstly, Gaurav Sahab, I truly believe that this man, George Soros, is a man of questionable character and integrity. Undoubtedly, like the point was made, he is nothing but somebody who's been an economic war criminal. Also, if you understand this so-called businessman, he has zilch effect on the democracy revival of India. That is the reason why Jairam Ramesh came out in the open and said what he said does not matter in terms of the opposition or the parties in India. Therefore, Smriti Irani and Jairam Ramesh, for one of its kind, taking a unanimous stand on the same. Let us understand, coming to the Adani Hindenburg report, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud has rejected the sealed cover names, and I'm very glad. This shows that the judiciary is indeed alive in India, and he will independent, with full public confidence, choose the members led by a former Supreme Court retired judge. Okay. Here we need to understand that George Soros must not be taken too seriously by a Smriti Irani or the BJP.